Welcome to the course for TSQL programming and scripting for SQL Server Database Administrator and Developer. In this video session, we are going to learn what is scope underscore identity. Then next is identity underscore current and at the rate of identity. Let's start the session now. So these all threes, right? These are the similar function because they are return the value that are inserted into identity column. So what it is going to give in the result? It is going to give the last value in turn inserted into the identity column of the table. So if you don't know what is identity, so better you go and see my previous video. Or otherwise you go and learn what is identity. I don't want to explain here, but in a simple word I can say identity is nothing but you will give like identity is 1 and you will pass that 1. So the meaning of this means I want starting the number from 1 and it has to be increased by 1 by 1. So 1 second 1 add 2 3 4. If you are giving 1 and 5, then first will be 1, then second time automatically insert will happen that 5, then again 5 will be added like that. So what you understood, these three are the similar function, and this are what it will do. It is going to give the last value what is entered into the identity of the table. So coming to next means id int underscore current. What is the meaning of this? Okay, this is nothing but it is not limited by the scope and session. It is limited to a specific table name. We are saying itself it is the specific table, means you want what is the last entry has been inserted into the identity column in the table that is going to be displayed by this function ident underscore current. Okay, so coming to next one, what is the scope underscore identity and at the rate of identity? This is very important thing. So before going to the definition, first I will go to the practical, then you will understood more. So I'm going to my PPT first and I will try to copy and try to run this command. Okay, so I'm going with a new query window. I will just pasting it. Let's see I have the table or not in this. Already table is there. I will try to delete this port table. I have deleted now, right? So next what I'm doing, I'm just creating my table, and in the table I am adding identity 1, 1. What is the meaning of this? Means in the ID column it is going to start with 1 and 1 has been added each and every time. So this ID column we are not going to insert because this is going to be inserted by automatically because we have defined as an identity. And second is name, that is in the varchar. So I have created one table. Second also same thing, identity column it is there. Here I have given 100. So the value it is going to be start from 100 and comma 5 means each time when the next value it is going to be inserted in this table, that ID is going to be increased by 5. Here it is going to increase by 1. Here it is 5. So if I will talk, first value will be 1, second will be 2, third will be 3, fourth will be 4. And here in T2 table, it should be 100, then 105, 110, like this. So just we'll go and we'll create one more table here. We have created it. This time what we are doing, we are inserted some value. So what is this value? Value is A, B, C I'm inserting, and I'm not inserting anything into the ID column, right? Because it is it is identity we have given. So automatically number has been inserted. So if I will go and if I'll inserted 3 value in this table. So what I will do, I will try to select first, select star from T1. Let's see what is the result I am getting here. Once I have executed, you can see A, B, and C it is there. But you can see the ID 1, 2, 3, it is inserted automatically because we have not inserted 1 and 2. Why it is inserted? Because we have defined identity 1, 1. 1 means start with 1, add with 1 value into this. Okay. So next is your T2 value. So now I am trying to insert some value into the T2. 3 rows has affected. So if I will try to select my T2 value, what I'm getting here, not T12, it should be T2. When I selected this, so now you can see the first value started with 100, 105 and 110. So 5, because we have already defined start with 100 and add 5 into it. I have added the primary key, that is different things, and name is varchar and not null. So what you under in this point, if I will go and I will run the at the rate of identity, I'm selecting at the rate of identity, at the rate of scope underscore identity, and next it is identity other underscore current. If you want to select this identity underscore current, so I already told in my session, identity means this is not limited by the scope and the session, it is limited to a specific table, right? So here we have to define the table, right? T1 and T2. So what will happen if I will select this? If I will do, what will happen? It is going to show me the value which is inserted at the last on this table in identity column. So if I will run this for, what is the result I'm getting? So now you can see these two are same, identity and identity scope underscore identity. This time it is giving the same value, but you can see the T1 means last what it is has been added here in the identity. You can see it is 3, and what it is added into this, it is the 110. So I'm running all 3 in one time. So you can see here 3 is the last, it is added into the T1, and 110 is the last which is inserted in this table. So that's why I told this is limited to table. If you want to know what value has been inserted last into this identity column for that table, so you can use this. So there will be, I think, no doubt for it. Come to this one having the more confusion. So now I have not created any trigger value, right? So if I have not created any trigger value, so that's why it is giving what it is the last it is inserted into the table, identity table. That is the last one. So last we have tried to insert in the T2 table, right? So that's why it is displaying as a this result. T2 result is even it is 110 and Z, but it will not display the Z, it will display the only identity column last value. So that's why it is showing this both as same. Okay, come to the next topic. This time what I will do, I will create the trigger on this table. So what is this trigger? Okay, so I will, instead of typing this code, I will copy and I will paste it. So this one is done. So now what we are doing, we are let's us create a trigger which will be executed in different scope. So this time I'm creating different scope and I will try to run this code. Sorry, where it is. This is done. This one is 7. I will just pasting it here, right? And before pasting it, I will try to take the screenshot of this value, whatever we have got now. Okay, so what we have seen, when we have not created the trigger, that time your at the rate of identity and at the rate of scope, right, both are giving as a same value here, right? Same value. You can see it here. Even if you want, you can run this, then also it is going to show you the both same value. Now what we are going to create, we are going to create the trigger. So what is the trigger we are going to create? If somebody is going to insert the value into the T1 table, right, what trigger will do? Trigger will insert some value into the T2. That one people will use as the auditing purpose, but I have not given those logic because I have to make it very simple so you can understand the code also. So what I'm doing, I'm creating the trigger and I have written insert as. So when somebody will insert on T1 table, right, that time what will be happen? Trigger will be fired, and what the trigger will do? Trigger will insert some value into the T2 table. People will use like no, some many times. Once you go and go through my trigger table, that one is the next video session which one I am going to publish. So you can watch this into the next video session. for trigger. So then you will understood more. So trigger is nothing but it is used for the auditing purpose. If somebody you don't want, like somebody don't want to delete my table, don't want like insert the table, so somebody will try to insert, what will happen, trigger will fire, and whatever you are logic you are giving inside the trigger, that's what is going to be implemented. If somebody is trying to delete that table, you want to print the value, so it is going to print. You want to insert the some value into that other table, as a credential means this person has tried to insert this table, or this person has deleted this database, etc. So that one we will learn in the later. So that's why it is used for the auditing purpose. So here what logic we have written, if somebody will try to insert in the T1 table, trigger will insert some value into the T2 table. So okay, so we'll go and we'll try to create the trigger on T1, and my trigger name is T1 underscore TR. This is a TRIZ. Okay, so next is I'm trying to insert the value on T1. So if I will insert now, if you'll go and you will see what is the value of T1 and T2, it is just 3 value here and 3 value here. After that, if I'm going to insert some value on T1, you can see the 2 row affected. One row is which one I have inserted into the T1 value, and one is trigger has inserted. Trigger is fire and it is inserted into the T2 value, right? T2 table. So if I will go and I will select, so you can see that 2 entries happen in the both the table, because we have created a trigger into this table and somebody will try to insert this, go and insert some value into the T2 table, and same thing it is happened. After this, if I will go and if I will execute this, select at the rate of identity and select scope underscore identity, then you see what is the difference now here. If I will execute it, now you will see the value it is giving 115, and this value whatever you are getting, it is showing 4. Why this is the both is having the different value. So what you understood this, so 115 and 4. Let's see and execute this together, this all 3, then it will be easy for you to understood. I'm running now. So this value 115, from where it is came? It came from the triggered value, right? And what is this 4? 4 is from T1 value. So what is the meaning of this? At the rate of identity, if you are going to run, what value it is going to throw? It is going to give you the value which is where it is triggered. So using the trigger has been, if any trigger is inserted any value, then that value it is displayed by at the rate of identity, right? So what it will give, it will give the value, so it will consider identity value changed by the trigger. So what value it is changed by the trigger, that value it is going to display by at the rate of identity. I think you don't have any doubt in the identity. This is very important for the interview purpose. So come to the next one. So what is scope underscore identity? Scope under what? The value what it is changed by the table. So we can see in this way. So at the rate of identity means what? What you understood? So the value consider identity value changed by the trigger, that value it is going to display. Next it will not consider identity value changed by the trigger. So whatever value you have changed into that any recent table on this session, that value it is going to display. So if I will use this scope underscore identity, so that's why it is displaying the 4, right? 4 is nothing but it is the latest what value you have changed it, right? So again, one more thing I am doing this time, I am trying to insert some value into the T2 table, right? This time this value it is not inserted by trigger. I am going to insert the some value into the T2 table. I am inserting CCC, right, in the T2 value. This time T2 what I've given, we have created a trigger where if somebody will insert into T1 table, it is going to insert into the T2 table. Trigger is going to, but directly in this other table, T2 table, we are trying to insert some value. This time it is not inserted by trigger. So if I'll go and select, you can see that yes, of course, here is a 5 entries there, CCC. In this point, if I will run this, what is the result I will get? Tell me. We will get both same. Why? Because the value, it is not inserted by trigger. This value, so that's why it is going to give you the both result as a same, right? So I hope you understood what is the meaning of this all three. One more thing, this will be applicable only for this session. If I will go and open my new query window, I will try to use this, whether it is going to give me the result. No, it will be, it is scope that session is defined for it, right? The same thing only I have written in my um, PPT also, scope underscore identity, and at the rate of identity, return the last identity value that are generated in any table in the current session, right? In the other session, it is not going to display. However, scope underscore identity return the value inserted only within the current scope, right? At the rate of identity, not limited to specific scope. It will be out of scope also. Out of scope means what? It is not giving the value for that table. It is giving the value for which table? Where it is inserted by trigger. And scope underscore identity will give the, it is limited. Scope is limited, right? So this is this is the same session which one I have explained. Like in the above example, there are two table, table 1 and table 2, and insert trigger is defined on T1. When a row is inserted to T1, the trigger fired and inserted the row into T2. This scenario alludes the two scope, the insert on T1, and second is the insert on T2 by the trigger. Scope underscore identity will return the identity value inserted in T1 value, right? And what? That was last inserted, that occurred in the same scope. And the same thing at the rate will be it is going to return the value which is changed by the trigger on the identity column. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Please continue my next video. Thank you so much.